Okay, welcome to this edition to this blue holographic reflection card that I did in the live stream last night. But I wanted to show you that the white highlights that I applied to the trees, left and right side, and the window area of the cabin, they basically turned like into a light blue, almost like a oh, not even too light of a blue. It's almost like a medium blue, like this. Like this would be a light blue right here, but you can see it's quite dark. Okay, so that being said, on some holographics, like I was speculating, I believe these all start off as like a silvery toned surface, and then they color whatever color they're going for with some sort of printer's ink or something like that, transparent one. But it's largely floating on the surface. So if you use a piece of holographic just plain like this, it's not going to be any big deal. But if we're applying a lot of different media over the surface of it like this, potentially water-based ones, I don't know if that's specific to that. I believe that ink kind of bleeds into the media that we're applying. Okay, so that being said, what I've done on this is I've spray sealed it with a workable fixative. And I believe that should create a layer in between the applications of whatever media you're working with. I happen to be working with a acrylic right here, and I believe that should lock down whatever's on that surface, the blue in this case, printer's ink. And I believe it will seal it off from this new application of acrylic paint. Okay, this is an acrylic paint pen. And I believe we should get a true kind of version of this, in this case, white acrylic paint right here. Okay, now, every time I applied this white before, and I must have did 4 or 5 layers of it, okay? It just kept, the color just kept seeping into it, and I'm just really shocked at just how, I don't know, practically invisible this is on there. Not only that, it was like the colors of those trees were this color of white before. Well, it's like a light blue, really, because again, this ink kind of seeps through it a little bit. But just, I don't know, the lack of, I don't know, whatever light values in my applications there. Okay, now, as I was doing this in the live stream, it's almost like, we can see the change happen before our eyes. It didn't take long for the pure white of the acrylic to start changing on here. Let's see if it does that over the course of a couple minutes here. I don't believe it will, but I don't know. You never know. See, I had like little highlights down here in my rocks. They're largely gone at this point in time. Okay, let's bring out the lights and the windows again. Now, as I was saying, I was mentioning this in my live stream. I said, if it wasn't a live stream, I would have gone out and spray sealed my piece and then applied these dots in there when I realized kind of what was going on. But I thought maybe 3 or 4 layers of, built up white in certain areas. I thought that would do the trick, but I don't know. That blue ink is just, I don't know, it's too powerful. Or something, I don't know. Okay, applying a little bit more up here. And you can see the difference between those highlights on that tree and this one over here. There's a little comparison contrast type of thing going on. All right. Now, I didn't put a really thick layer of that workable fixative on. Let's see if I did enough here. I thought it might be changing slightly over on that side, but it looks like it's holding more, certainly, than it did pre-sealing. And let's see here. Okay, the Dr. Martens bleed-proof white splatter painting on here still looks pretty good. That stuff is really opaque and chalky, and it dries like really fast. So the acrylic, it doesn't dry quite as fast because we're applying probably a thicker amount of it. But it's just the Dr. Martens just dries instantly. So, and again, the bleed-proof white aspect of it is just so that it is opaque, or as opaque as it can be. Due to its composition. It's like some sort of chalky, really super fine kind of, pigment, I'm guessing, or grounds. Okay, I'm applying some of this up under my clouds here just to get a little bit more variation going. Textural variation and lighting. This, and I'm kind of clustering it a little bit. Just so it doesn't look quite as uniform. I can go in, I can add on, a few more dabs of, the white pigment if I want to. Oh yeah, I was thinking about putting a little bit of haze over some of my imagery, which I couldn't do when the imagery was, sopping wet, black ink naturally. So now that it dried, it probably dried in a few hours, but having it sit overnight and then spray sealing, of course, is going to do the trick as far as really getting it locked down and situated. Let's take some additional white pigment ink and put some final kind of textural and lighting touches on this piece right here. So right over here, we lose a little bit of my tree in here, so you can't see it too much. So I'm going to go in here. I'm not doing this to illuminate the tree or something like this, but I'm just putting a little bit of this cloud. I'm creeping this cloud around here, or in this case, the fog. Okay. Fog and mist. And bringing it right in here, and that kind of envelops this image a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Let's add a little bit of fog, down here. We'll oscillate it. We'll put some right here. We'll leave that crisp. A little bit of fog here. A little bit crisper. And let's put some right over here. It just kind of softens the impression up a little bit and gives it a little bit more dimension. Let's have some of that cloud kind of creeping around in this area. See how this is really dark right here? That's the image, but let's vary it a little bit so it's a little bit darker and then also softer and lighter right in here. Okay. I won't do too much, but see how that kind of brings that in a little bit. Maybe I should have spray sealed a little bit more. I think I'm picking up some of that black right there. I just kind of spray sealed it a little bit. It looks a little bit grayish there. Here, let's kind of clean that up on that cloud a little bit. Okay, like so. But let's take a look at this now and see what it looks like in context. Okay, in the reflection area like that. Look at that additional little mist that I put down here. That really shows up. And again, I think it's because the silver is reflecting light up here. So we're getting light from above like this, but also from below. But look how that really illuminates that area. Kind of brings it to life, right? There's a little tiny bit right there, but right here, a little bit more so. And then right over here. And it looks like that white is holding up pretty decently. It's a little bit darker, I think, than when I first applied it, but I have a feeling that it's going to hold like that. And you can see those windows right in there. They're nice and light. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see if I spray sealed it enough to lock down everything on there. But I'll probably give this one more quick seal, like around and around in here. And see, it didn't really affect that sealant. I didn't kind of mask this over at all. I just kind of sprayed in, this cloud area like that and down here. But it didn't really change the spirit of the sky. I don't know. It might have put a little bit of a coating on it, but not too much. And we'll get this sprayed sealed off one more time. And then we'll get this adhered to this top portion. And we should have a really great card here. As complex as it looks, from a technique standpoint, it's really quite simple. But you just start off with some really dynamic, papers like this in a dynamic format. And, for me, I believe my designs are fairly dynamic too. And the techniques, as far as, our applications go, white and black brilliance ink stays on ink down here for the silver foil, but it's just making the impressions down here. This is just a really minimal card right here, but you get that reflection right in there, and it really changes the kind of the payoff, or if you, I don't know, term it that, in terms of the amount of effort that went into it, or goes into it. It just really, I don't know, it pays dividends, this type of reflection format in here, because you're really doing like half the work to get, I don't know, I think it's not just twice the amount, because you get this kind of movement in there. And, if it's holographic like this, you get those reflections really changing around. It almost becomes like a card in motion. And it looks very three-dimensional without any three-dimensional techniques, cutting out and doing pop-ups and things like that. So, and you get all that coloring up there and movement, and it's just the paper that's doing that. So, yeah, really fun stuff. Okay, so anyways, a couple extra tips. Thanks for watching, and hope you try out this reflection card format sometime. It's really fun to do, and there's all kinds of different possibilities with it in terms of the combinations of surfaces that you can use with each other.